The curtains have risen on the latest season, and boy, has it been a drama-filled spectacle. Ferrari's DNF and Aston Martin's impressive performance may have stolen the limelight, but McLaren's dismal results have not gone unnoticed. This does not bode well for McLaren, and it raises questions about Zac Brown's promises to Lando. Will this be the straw that breaks the camel's back, pushing Lando towards greener pastures? Or will he stay loyal to McLaren? Let's find out. Oscar Piastri may have had a crystal clear vision on his dream debut in Formula 1, but boy did he get blindsided in Bahrain. The Aussie prodigy was under immense pressure, with McLaren pulling the plug on their deal with Daniel Ricciardo a year early to pave the way for Piastri's entry into the F1 circuit. Sure, Piastri boasts an impressive resume in the junior leagues, cementing his status as one of the most electrifying rookies to hit the F1 scene in recent memory. But the Bahrain debacle had surely left him rattled, and he'll be praying to the racing gods that it's not a harbinger of things to come. The mood at McLaren was as somber as a funeral procession as they approached the F1 2023 season opener, and as fate would have it, Piastri's maiden qualifying run in Bahrain turned out to be a complete and utter train wreck as he got booted out in Q1. Talk about a baptism by fire. As if that wasn't enough, Piastri's first ever Grand Prix turned out to be a nerve-wracking ordeal, with a myriad of issues cropping up in the initial third of the race. McLaren frantically tried to fix the issue with a steering wheel swap during Piastri's pit stop, but Lady Luck was not on their side. What a chaotic start to Piastri's F1 journey. The McLaren pit crew was sweating bullets as they feverishly attempted to remedy Piastri's woes, but just as they thought they had it all sorted, the engine cut out in the pit box, dashing Piastri's hopes of a triumphant F1 debut. McLaren confirmed that an electronic malfunction was to blame for Piastri's tragic downfall. And it wasn't just Piastri who was grappling with technical gremlins. Lando Norris was also having a rough time, being forced to make not one, not two, but 3 trips to the pit lane for engine pneumatic system refills. Yikes. Zac Brown, the bigwig in charge of McLaren Racing, shed some light on Piastri's mishap, stating that it seemed to be a gnarly electrical issue that caused the gearbox to go haywire on the track. Talk about a nightmare start for McLaren and their rookie sensation. The McLaren pit crew were pulling their hair out as they tried to get to the bottom of Piastri's malfunction. Despite swapping out the steering wheel, the issue persisted, and the team's diagnosis pointed squarely at an electrical snag. The rookie racer confirmed that this kind of problem was nowhere to be seen during pre-season testing, leaving everyone scratching their heads. Piastri was left befuddled, unable to fathom what could have gone wrong, and expressed his confidence that the team would get to the root of the issue. Talk about a head-scratching conundrum for McLaren. The McLaren technical director, James Steller, spilled the beans that the attempted reset by swapping out the steering wheel was nothing but a red herring. It turns out that the gremlin was lurking deeper down in the steering column, likely in the harness. Steller and his team are hot on the trail of the problem, but with no quick fix in sight, the suspense is mounting. As if that wasn't enough to keep McLaren on edge, Lando Norris was also wrestling with his own set of car troubles. The young driver suspected that a pressure leak in the engine pneumatics was hobbling him from the very first turn, with the gearbox taking the brunt of the damage. The pit crew had to jump into action every 10 laps to refill the system, connecting an airline to the left-hand side pod. Talk about a nail-biting race weekend for the McLaren team. Given the limited pre-season testing, it was decided that Norris should persevere with the fault to bank data. He finished 17th and 2 laps down on winner Max Verstappen. Steller continued, "There was a pneumatic pressure leak on Nando's car. We discovered this leak relatively soon in the race. Then we knew that it was possible only to do 10-11 laps each time before having to refill. We decided to stay in the race. We decided to try and stay at least within 1 lap from the leader within the last 10 laps. Then if there's a safety car, try and see if it was an opportunity. We did 6 stops." Despite all the chaos and turmoil, Norris felt relieved that the MCL 60 was not woefully slow, as the Briton managed to compete for points before running into trouble. Norris went on to recount the unreliability issues that plagued him throughout the race, starting from turn 1 and continuing to worsen with a pneumatic problem and other malfunctions. To add insult to injury, he had to pit every 10 laps. However, when asked to highlight any positives, Norris tried to make light of the situation, joking that the team's mechanics got plenty of pit stop practice. Nonetheless, he acknowledged that the car's pace was reasonably decent and that they could have earned a point had it not been for the setbacks. All in all, it was a disappointing outcome for Norris and McLaren. Lando Norris also shared Stella's thoughts, expressing his admiration for the progress made by Aston Martin over the winter, and hoping that McLaren could follow suit and match their level of improvement this season. Stella provided a thought-provoking response when asked whether McLaren had the necessary resources to address their problems. He emphasized the importance of clarifying what exactly needs fixing before making any assumptions. The team's primary limitation, he revealed, is their aerodynamic downforce. He went on to explain that they could enhance their car's development rate by upgrading their infrastructure and expanding their workforce, which is precisely why they are investing heavily in these areas. However, Stella also expressed confidence in the current team's talent and capabilities, believing that they have the potential to surpass other teams in terms of development. He praised the car's liveliness in this regard, which bodes well for their future progress. Stella delved deeper into the car's performance, noting that certain areas of the vehicle can generate excellent downforce, but were not ready in time for the launch spec. He explained that the car's evolution would take place race by race, with significant upgrades planned for the fourth race. Despite the challenges, Stella expressed his desire to follow in McLaren's footsteps from previous seasons and transform a lackluster car into a competitive one. He cited the examples of 2009 and 2012, where the team made remarkable improvements over the course of the season. While acknowledging the differences in regulations and testing restrictions, Stella remained optimistic about McLaren's potential to outdevelop their rivals. He exuded confidence that they could add 2023 to their list of success stories. All in all, Stella's remarks were a testament to the team's unwavering determination to succeed in the face of adversity. It's almost as if the stars have aligned for Daniel Ricciardo. The Aussie driver, once famously sacked by McLaren, is now reveling in the team's struggles as he emerged as the biggest winner from the season-opening Bahrain Grand Prix. After being famously sacked last year and replaced with fellow Australian Oscar Piastri, Ricciardo's legions of fans from his drive to survive stardom are now delighting in his seemingly fortuitous chain of events. While Red Bull's Max Verstappen and the impressive Aston Martin outfit also emerged as big winners, a glance at the race results reveals that it is Ricciardo who's beaming the brightest. During his time with McLaren, Ricciardo experienced a rollercoaster ride, struggling to find the form that had made him one of the most exciting drivers on the grid. He did manage to capture McLaren's first Grand Prix victory since 2012 during the 2022 Italian Grand Prix, but after securing his 8th Grand Prix win, he never stood on the podium again as a McLaren driver. The fallout of Ricciardo's unceremonious axing is captured in Netflix's new season of their smash hit Drive to Survive, with one moment showing that Ricciardo was pre-warned of the betrayal. Despite this setback, Ricciardo's fortunes have now taken a turn for the better, and fans of the sport can't help but feel happy for him as he continues to shine with his new team. Will Lando's dream and Zac Brown's promise translate into a championship-winning car for the McLaren prodigy? It remains to be seen, but the tantalizing prospect has set tongues wagging and imaginations running wild. What fate has in store for the young driver and his team is anyone's guess, but the buzz of anticipation and uncertainty is palpable. So, let's turn up the heat and add some fuel to the fire. What are your own musings on this high-stakes game of motorsport? Let your thoughts roam free and share your insights in the comment section below.